Hello everyone, welcome. I'm going to be teaching the 5 myths about starting your own business today. And before I dive in, I'm going to tell you about an incentive I have, which is when you share this video, I'm going to share it right now into my Facebook group called Autoimmune Tribe. You get entered to win a free 30-minute coaching call with me. So share it in the Autoimmune Tribe group. When you guys share this, again, your opportunity to win a free call. So I have to be really, really honest here. I don't usually go live on my personal page. I usually go live in my safe space in the Autoimmune Tribe community. And I was challenged by a lovely woman this week to go live on my personal page. And all of these feelings came up. And I was like, oh my God, I can't do that. And then I just paused for a second and I was like, what do I mean I can't do that? Like, the number of people that I've worked with over the last 2 years has been over 300 women. This community has grown to 27,000 on Instagram, over 1 million monthly viewers on Pinterest, over 2,000 on Facebook, 45,000 on the podcast, 4,000 on the newsletter. So that was a limiting belief. And I realized that I energetically show up for thousands of people every single day. So Sarah Small can fucking go on her personal profile and she can go live and she can teach a lesson. So here I am showing up and really excited to share these myths with you because I think that so many of us get in our head. Does anyone resonate with that? Do you get in your head too much and you overthink? And this little voice comes into your mind that tells you have to be perfect. Has anyone been there before? I have. I am very much so, admittedly so, a recovering perfectionist. And this perfectionism has harmed me in lots of ways. It's held me back from many things previously in my life until I fully addressed it. And I asked myself, why am I trying to be so fucking perfect all the time? What is the point of this? And what is the belief? Where did this belief come from that for some reason I have to be perfect? Now, I was able to really excavate that within my soul and figure out the exact roots of my personal perfectionism and then therefore clear that so I can start showing up. About 2 years ago when I started my business, could start showing up and just being me, just being authentic and not feeling like I have anything to prove, and instead just holding this sacred container for other women who are healing. So the first myth about starting your business is that you have to be fully healed. Now, this is I don't know who's listening right now. I don't know where you're coming from. I don't know what your background is. But the people that I generally work with are women with chronic illness or some sort of emotional inflammation, or they have autoimmune disease and they've reached a healing plateau that is very frustrating for them. They've tried and they've tried and they've tried again, and they've spent thousands and thousands of dollars to try to heal their mind and their body, and they feel so fucking stuck. And what happens is once they break through that plateau, they come out on the other side wiser, stronger, having learned amazing life lessons and really practical knowledge on how to heal a chronic illness. And I believe that the pathway to healing inevitably leads you to your purpose. So once they break through this healing plateau, there's this little magic that happens and they say, I don't want to live that old life anymore. I'm sick and tired of that and I don't want that anymore. I want more. Am I allowed to have more? because I want it. And then they question themselves, but they want it. Deep in their soul, they're not quite sure how to get it, but they know they want more. They know they don't want to go back to that old life. But then they think they have to be fully healed or perfect in some way to actually be able to start a business, or for that matter, just help people. Whether they're charging for their services or not, they think, oh, I have to look a certain way, or my body has to look a certain or feel a certain way, or I have to have X number on my lab test, or my Hashimoto's has to be in reversed or in remission, or I can't have celiac disease, or I'm not allowed to have anxiety and teach other people how to heal their anxious feelings. And it's such a myth, it's such a limiting belief to think that you have to be perfectly healed or perfect in some way to show up big and do your part in changing the world. All you need is to be one step ahead of the person that you want to help. One step ahead. So you don't have to have all your ducks in a row. You don't have to look like an Instagram influencer. You don't have to look any certain way. You just have to show up. And when you are at least one step ahead of the person that you want to help, you have the potential to change that person's life. Does that make sense to you guys? So when you show up and you help Sophia down the street with whatever it is that you already know about because you've been through it, but you're one step ahead of Sophia, you could potentially help her so much. And just think, if you weren't just one step ahead, maybe you're 3 or 4 steps ahead of that person, you can help them so damn much. So it is a limiting belief to think that we have to be fully healed or perfect to help support others in their own healing journey. The thing is, too, I want you to think about who you work with. If you've ever hired a coach or maybe a personal trainer, do you hire the person that is 100 steps away from you, who feels like celebrity status, who feels so out of touch with your reality, who feels like they're living in a different dimension or on a different plane? Or do you hire the person who is relatable, but you also look up to her? And you're like, wow, I want something similar to her. You don't want to be her necessarily, but you look up to her like a lifestyle role model, for example. And you want to either be able to heal what she's healed or have a life of money and time freedom like she has created. And she's not, maybe if you're making 30 grand a year right now, which is what I used to make in my old job, and if you're making that, you're not necessarily going to hire the coach or mentor that makes $2 million. Someday you fucking are, but maybe not today, because that feels like a huge giant leap. You do probably want to work with the woman or man who's making $60 or $90 or $100,000 a year, because you're like, okay, they've done it, they can teach me how to do it too. So again, to summarize, this first myth is that you have to be perfect or you have to be fully healed to help people or to start your own business. This is so false. You do not have to be either of those things, and you can absolutely help people shift and transform their lives. I know, because I'm not close to perfect. I have a laundry list of imperfections, and every day I find more imperfections about myself. And I am perfectly okay with that. And I'm still confident in showing up, whether it's on live video or creating programs or working with women one-on-one to change their lives and heal on a spiritual and emotional and energetic level from autoimmune disease and chronic illness, because I know I'm just a couple steps ahead. And I know I can support them in that journey that I just went through. The second myth is that you have to have a business plan. You have to have your Q1, 2, 3, and 4 planned out, and your revenue goals planned out, and you're going to know exactly which day you're going to launch your next program and how many clients you're going to have. Well, listen up, sister friends. We can't fucking predict the future. And we can make a plan, but there's no way to control that. Control is the biggest illusion we've ever been taught. Control is also limiting. When you try to control outcomes by having a plan and only one plan on how something could potentially work out, you hold yourself back from all of the other possibilities that could exist, that could enter your energetic vortex and actually be really fucking amazing because you think it has to be one way. It does not have to be one way. Now, I'm not saying you can't have a plan. You're allowed to plan. If you are a planner and that's going to ease your anxiety, girl, go make a plan. But also hold space for the unknown. Hold space for the miracles. Hold space for the other way. Hold space for your gut, your intuition telling you to get off a exit earlier than you normally do and maybe take the detour home that day. Because sometimes our gut tells us to get off that exit one stop early for a really good reason. So you do not have to have a business plan. And what I have found as I've grown my own business, online business, is that I am constantly evolving. Every minute, every second of every fucking day, I am evolving. Sarah Small now on this moment, February 10th, 2019, is not the same exact Sarah Small who started this business in 2016. So much has changed. I have evolved on many dimensions, and I've learned a lot along the way. So to think that you have to have one plan structured out and one framework to get you to your end goal and end desire is so extremely limiting. And so many people stop themselves, so many women I talk to on a daily basis stop themselves from ever starting, from ever putting themselves out there, from ever starting the Instagram account or buying the website domain or going live on Facebook like today. They stop themselves and they don't ever fucking do it because they think they have to have an entire plan mapped out. That's so false. You do not have to have a plan. You have to have passion. If you have passion, you will continue to show up and you will figure out every single stumbling block, roadblock, challenge, hurdle along the way. If you show up and you just have a deep, burning desire in your gut, in your core to do the damn thing, you're going to figure it out. And at any given time, you are allowed to call in reinforcement. You are allowed to ask for help. You are allowed to hire a coach or hire an assistant to support you. But what I want this message to really send home is to the women who are not taking the action because they think they have to have the full plan. You do not have to have the full plan, my love. And I say that with the deepest compassion because I see so many people holding themselves back. And I don't want you to hold yourself back anymore. And I can also speak from my personal experience. When I quit my job and I decided, hey, I'm going to do this thing full time, I did not have a plan. I did not have a plan. And even when I tried to create a plan, this was very laughable for me. I tried to create a plan. Okay, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do that, and next month I'm going to do this, and I'm going to have 5 clients this time, and I'm going to have 10 clients this time. You don't get to control the fucking universe. So it's all going to happen in whatever way it happens. So we have to let go of control of that as well. The third myth. There are already too many people doing it. So we think, oh, there's already too many life coaches and mindset coaches and wellness coaches and health coaches and yoga teachers and meditation teachers and intuitive healers and energy workers and Reiki practitioners. Whatever you want to be, whatever you want to do with your life, you think, oh, I already know 5 people who do that. You know 5 people who do that? Great. That's amazing. You can probably learn from them. You can take a page out of their book. But then you are going to put your special sauce on it. No not one other person on this planet is like you. You are so unique, and that is what makes you so fucking special. So there's probably 100,000, I don't know exactly, but there's probably 100,000 life coaches in the United States. But that doesn't mean there's not enough space for you. There is always more to go around. The universe is abundant and limitless, and there are more than 7 billion people on this planet. So to think that there's nobody that you can help, or that everyone's taken and you're not going to have clients or customers if you want a product-based business, that is limiting, and that it is a limiting belief to think that there's not enough people for us. Because there could be a woman on my street that lives on my block doing the exact same thing that I'm doing. She could be creating group programs online for women who are healing on an energetic, spiritual, emotional level, and taking intuitive healing clients and business coaching clients. And her and I could each have abundant as hell businesses, because that's not my competition. That's not my competition. You don't have competition either. You can compete with yourself to always constantly be growing and evolving. But the woman or man who's going to work with that lady down the street who does the same thing as me is going to be a different person that wants to work with Sarah Small. Because my energetic vortex is going to attract in a different type of person than hers would attract in. Because of who I am. Because who I am at a cellular level and a quantum level. Yeah, I study a lot of quantum physics. I'm a huge nerd and a huge dork. And I like to wear Little Mermaid t-shirts. And whoever thinks that's fucking cool is gonna work with me. Let's say that lady down the street is really into heavy metal and she loves to wear orange. I like never wear orange, okay? There's gonna be a different person who wants to work with her than wants to work with me. So you are not like any other person on this planet, and there are millions of people who need support. In my opinion, our healthcare system is so fucking broken. And I personally have felt very victimized by that. I chose to release the victimhood because I realized that was not serving me in any way. But I can look back on that experience and go, wow, that was fucked up. That was really fucked up, and that didn't make me feel good. I don't have to be a victim of that anymore. I can reclaim my power, and I can send love and angels and understanding to that experience. But my point is that there are millions of people out there who need help. If you close your eyes for a second and you think of 5 people in your life who are so deeply satisfied, fulfilled in every single area of their life. Financially, spiritually, their relationships, their ability to be creative, their job, their career, their health, their physical activity, their joy and their laughter, their intimacy. Can you think of 5 people in your life who have all of those, like 10 out of freaking 10? If you can think of 5 people in your life that have that, I'm actually going to be a little bit impressed. Because I think most of us can think of, okay, the happiest person I know is Sally. But even Sally doesn't have a 10 out of 10 in that one area. Which just goes to show that whether you want to help people with their health, or you want to help people with their mindset, or you want to help them with their relationships, maybe you want to help them with their finances and be a money coach. It doesn't matter. There's always going to be people out there who are not a 10 out of 10 in that category that you want to help with. And then within that big category of health, there's also like 100,000 other more subcategories. Right? So there's always going to be people that need help. We're all striving for this amazing life. And so many of us have had these little bumps along the way, and we're trying to make sense of it. We're all just fucking human. So myth 3 is that there's already too many people doing it. So false. There's always space for you. Again, even if you choose to do exactly what I do, there's still space for you, and that doesn't mean that I get bumped out. There's space for both of us always. Let me know if you have any questions so far. Then we're going to go into myth 4 and 5. Okay. Myth 4. You have to be certified or have an MBA, Master's in Business Administration, to be able to do this. Nope. You don't have to have an MBA to have a business. I know a fair amount of people who've been to business school and they've learned a lot, and that may or may not have helped them in developing their business. But I know a whole lot more people who don't have their MBA and have even more successful businesses. And maybe not as much debt. Same with certifications. You don't have to, I chose to actually have two health coaching certifications and about 10 other certifications. But that's because I love to learn, okay? So if you love to learn, go nerd out hardcore, girlfriend. Go study. I like to study too. But what I'm trying to tell you is that you don't have to have 10 certifications or even one certification, again, to help people. You don't have to have a certification to be a mindset coach or a health coach or a life coach. You can just go start doing it. Now, responsibly hold space and responsibly step into that role as coach. But don't overthink it. Don't think, oh my God, I don't have enough qualifications. Because one of the biggest qualifications of the 12 certifications I have is life school. I've been through multiple autoimmune diseases, numerous, can count on 2 hands, root causes of why I was experiencing all the very uncomfortable symptoms I was. So I've been through that. I've healed my body, and I continue to heal my body because I'm not perfectly healed, as we went back to myth number 1. So this is an opportunity for you to step into your greater purpose. And there's too many women out there holding themselves back because they don't think they have what they need to get started. And what I want to tell you is you already have everything you need. You have everything you need. And if you want to go seek out more support, more knowledge, more wisdom, more learning, go do it. Empower yourself for that. But you don't have to have an MBA. You don't have to be a certified health coach, at least in this industry. Of course, like if you want to be an accountant, you have to be a CPA, right? Like there's many careers out there. If you want to be a doctor, you have to have your MD. There are careers out there that do require that, but this doesn't. And that's part of the beauty of it. You don't have to go into debt to go to school to be able to do something that you really, really love. All you need is a willingness to commit and a willingness to learn along the way. It's that simple. We overcomplicate the fuck out of life. Myth number 5. Last one. I have to have X amount of time, any. So you might say, I need to have more time. You might say, I need to have 10 hours a week. I need to have at least 1 day a month, or I need to have 30 hours a week. Whatever you're telling yourself inside of your head is the amount of time that you need to have to start a business is an illusion. It is an illusion. Just like control is one of the biggest illusions we've ever been taught, time is another one of the biggest illusions we've ever been taught. It's all just energy. It's all just energy. So you don't need to have 10 hours a week to start a business. You just need to put your energy towards the desired outcome, your desired outcome. And it will desired. Sorry, I got a phone call. It will manifest faster than you ever desired, than you ever thought. So you just have to put an intention out into the world. We don't need to have a website. We don't need to spend 20 hours a week building the website to have a successful business. No. Time is an illusion, and I don't have enough time as an excuse. So it might not be a priority for you right now, and that's totally okay. Some of us are still in the weeds of healing. I've been there. At one point, I was not ready to start this business because I was just focused on healing me. But then I don't have time became just an excuse. And I called myself out on it. I said, Sarah, that's bull. This is an illusion. I'm not prioritizing it. And I'm not prioritizing it because I'm actually just scared. I'm actually just scared shitless to do this and put myself out into the world and let myself be visible and seen and open for criticism and judgment. But instead of putting myself out and on video and on my podcast and on Instagram and on my website and in the programs I host and going into it with a fear-based thought, I went into it with, there's somebody out there who needs to hear this today. There is somebody out there that needs to hear this today. And that always happened. The person who needed to hear that message always showed up. And I've had criticism, and I've had judgment, and I've had tons of trolls on social media. You should see my block list on Instagram, scrolling for days, block. But none of that matters. Because what matters to me most is the women that I do serve, not the people who are not my ideal client, anyone who's just coming in to criticize, but instead the woman that I can actually help change her life, transform her mindset, help her heal her own body in some way. That's why I keep showing up. That is why I'm still here. And that is part of the magic and what has created Autoimmune Tribe into a successful and abundant business and a slowly growing team. Because for a long time it was a team of one. Her name is Sarah Small, and I was the only one. But you can ask for help, and eventually it becomes time to grow your team. So those are the 5 myths about starting your own business. And what I want to also share with you is that I think it's wrong to be putting off starting your business if you've been wanting to do this. Again, there's such thing as, this is not aligned with me and I don't want this, okay? Totally fine. This is not for you today. This is not a conversation for you. But if you want, or there's an inkling inside your body that says, I think I do want to do this. I think I do want to start my own business. I think I'd like to take everything that I have learned through my path with chronic illness and help heal others. If you feel that way, stop putting it off. Stop putting it off. What have you wanted to create? Share that with me. Who do you want to help? Who do you want to serve in this world? Share that with me. What messages do you want to send? What are the core messages that you've learned that you know that can help other people? And on your deathbed, what will you regret and wish you would have done? Don't wait. Don't let these myths hold you back. Stop fucking waiting. And I say that with the utmost respect and love and compassion, because sometimes we just need to get off our ass and go do it. And there's solutions out there for you if you're just like, I don't know where to start. It's exactly what my program, Launch Your Wellness Biz, is for. It's for the woman who just doesn't know where to start. She knows she wants it, but she doesn't know what to do. And she needs a little bit of the step-by-step path to really blow up, to really go forward and say, yes, I am committed to this 150%, and it's going to be so fulfilling and so rewarding. I didn't create this business from a place of anxiety. I created, which I used to struggle with very much so, I created this business from the willingness to believe that there was life on the other side of that anxiety. And now Autoimmune Tribe is a community that is, so good. It's so abundant. And there's so many women coming together. And as they heal, as they go through my programs, maybe you've been through my programs, they inevitably find that on the other side of healing is their soul's purpose. And it's so beautiful. It's so fucking cool to be the witness for that. To witness these women coming in the shadow, in the darkness, in the healing plateau, and to bust through all of their emotional inflammation, physical pain, and stumbling blocks. Take that and rise. And as they rise and heal, then they realize my trajectory has changed. I'm not going that way anymore. My soul's purpose is up, and I'm gonna go up, up, up. You best bet, sister. And then they get up and they're like, what do I do up here? What's next? I know this feels better, but what do I do? That's what I'm going to be teaching in Launch Your Wellness Biz. So it's a 30-day experience with 25 video lessons, 2 live Q&As. We're going to have lots of hot seats and a support group on Facebook with additional homework, action items, PDFs, and resources to support you and everything that you need, not just strategically, because I actually think that's the smaller percentage of business, but also energetically to support you. To be able to realize that time is an illusion, and as long as you have the energetic magnetism for exactly what you desire, you don't need 50 hours a week. So we're gonna learn and infuse the energetic to balance and weave with the strategy, so you have actionable steps, but also a very clear, crystal clear mind and aligned soul to have a business that just lights your soul on fire. That you wake up every single morning and you're like, fuck yes, this is my life. This is so cool. I created this because I was not willing to let go, to step down, and I decided that I was going to do this. So those dark spots of your soul, they get shined up, and we get to take that and we get to share that shininess, that light with the world as a light worker. So I invite you to join me for Launch Your Wellness Biz. Again, 30-day experience. You get lifetime access. You also get my support in the Facebook community. I'll drop a link below to look at the sales page and all of the juicy details. We start this Wednesday, February 13th, and the cart closes tomorrow night, Monday, February 11th at 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time, because I'm out here in Colorado. If you have any questions, please let me know, and just go, my friends. Stop waiting. Start today. Sending you lots of